I don't even know what to say to start this. So I guess I'll say this is not the normal happy show I try to have on here. This show is actually about the recent shooting that took place at Oxford High here in Oxford, Michigan. And the first thing I'd like to say before we get started is I want to give a huge send-off of condolences. Rest in peace. May you be living with angels. Whatever your peaceful thoughts were. Miss Madison Baldwin, 17 years old. Miss Hannah St. Juliana, 14 years old. Justin Schillinger, 17 years old. And Mr. Tate Meyer, 16 years old. There was a handful of other people that were injured, but these are the 4 victims that lost their lives. I gotta watch what I say and do, because as a parent, it's very easy to get very mad and cry and get angry. And I don't think that helps anything. We're allowed to be angry, but we need to channel it for something positive. And yes, you know I love the song. I think the reason I kept it playing is it's actually such a beautiful piece of music that these beautiful souls deserve to have their names right on top of it. Hello, everyone. Hello, friends, newcomers. Holy shit, what do we say, right? I'm so sorry for these kids, their families, their friends, and not even just these poor people that lost their lives or were there, the kids that were there, the teachers that experienced that, because they were victims as well. For those who don't know, Oxford is about 25-30 minutes south of here. Just depends on traffic. Straight down 75. And it's like I'm still just at a loss for words every time I try to think about, feelings or how this has affected me. And I don't even personally know anybody, so I can't even imagine how it's affecting these families directly involved. The kids, like I said, that were there at the school, the trauma they had to deal with, the PTSD. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. All the schools got shut down the following day and then for the rest of the week they ended up doing it because I believe the last number I heard, and this makes me just as sad, is there are 155 cases of threats made in the area. I don't know if it was all of Michigan or just in this direct area. There was a girl about 20 minutes north of here in Flint that got arrested. A 17-year-old the following day actually posted a video on social media, claiming she was going to shoot up the school and do this and that, and something similar to Oxford or something like that. And of course, she got arrested, and now she's facing multiple counts. I think it was like 2 counts that can serve up to 20 years. And to that, I say good. I can't believe these kids are stupid enough to do that, to actually make threats after something like that and think it's funny. They think it's jokes. Oh, I wasn't serious. I wasn't this and that. This is no longer a time to make jokes or games about this stuff. And that's going to lead me down the road to one of my points, and one of the things I'm going to do and ask you folks to do is I've already started a change.org petition. First one I've ever started. We're only, like I said, 20, 30 minutes depending on traffic from there, minutes from there. And when they close the schools the next day, and my wife, Jessica, has a part-time job working at this beautiful little coffee shop that just opened. Shout out North End. And it's right across the street from Bailey's school. And she was texting because you know how the kids are, and they start talking and rumors, and then all of a sudden there was rumors that there was going to be another shooting, or kids were going to carry out multiple things at different schools. And when your 13-year-old texts you that they're scared and they don't want to be at school, it's the most gut-wrenching feeling. And again, that's they're scared and they're feeling that, and it's like I can't even imagine actually the kids being there. Being there as a parent, you feel helpless because there's nothing you can do, right? If you're not at the school. So after I literally got choked up when Jessica texted me, "Hey, Bailey just texted me. She's scared. She wants to get picked up and all that." And Jessica she just got off and went and picked up Bailey, and I brought her home. But I remember getting all teary-eyed and choked up thinking about her being scared. And then my next thing went to anger, and I was like, okay, well, let's put guns in the truck and let's go park across the street from the school and just watch and see if anything happens. And, as a law-abiding citizen, do that. And trust me, in Michigan, you're allowed to do this stuff. Obviously, I'm not talking about going on school grounds, but this is the first thing you think of. And is that the right thing to do? I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know. But at the same time, if there aren't people out there protecting the children and they don't have the laws or they don't have the measures in place to protect the children, whether it's armed security guards or whether it's metal detectors at the schools, and there's only one way in, one way out, we needed to travel. We needed to go into courthouses. We need to do all that stuff. Why don't we do that for our children? And I don't want to hear about kids being traumatized by seeing a metal detector going through it, or seeing a policeman or a security guard there with a handgun. You don't think they're fucking more traumatized by actually hearing about these shootings going on and nothing's being done about it to protect them? Yeah, I think that's a little more real than being afraid, oh, I see someone with a gun, that's scary. No, if you raise your kids correctly, they know the security there, cops are there, whoever with the guns, they're there to protect you, right? Don't even come at me with other shit about police brutality. It's a different story. We're talking about the kids right now. I've started a petition on change.org, and I'm going to come back and put the link up in the comments here. Or you can go start it. You can go search it by looking for my name, obviously Eric Watkins, ErikWatkins. You can search it. It's in Fenton, Michigan, but it's a petition to ask the government to pass legislation to, let me give you the exact words, you can look for it. Stop the media from promoting mass shootings by not naming perpetrators publicly. I write a story under it, but essentially what I cite as my sources, I did just some simple research. And there's actually studies on the NIH website, the National Institute of Health, over there, your buddy Dr. Fauci, for all you guys that are such big fans of that guy and believe everything he says, well, believe these studies. And if you're not, you're still just a normal person and you believe a scientific study, go check out this study because there's tons of them. And then there's links over there to dozens of articles. And if you do Google was actually pretty fair with their search engine this time. I usually do DuckDuckGo, but dozens and dozens of studies, of interviews with these perpetrators of mass, whether it was a shooting, a stabbing, bombing, stuff like that, and they all do it to live in infamy. They do it because they don't feel like they're going to amount to much. They have issues with people. They're mad, and they think the only way they can get even is to hurt these people, because remember, hurt people hurt people. So they go and hurt these people and know that the media is going to put their name out there forever, and they're going to talk about them, and they're going to be infamous. And they can't be famous. They're going to be remembered one way or another. So might as well go out in a blaze of glory. And that's how a lot of these people think and feel. Well, if we don't have the media give their names, their images, information, personal information about them, they don't get to have that tool, so they're going to die and be forgotten about. And eventually it's going to catch up, because the UK and most of the European Union doesn't talk about that stuff. They don't mention the perpetrator's name. They talk about the events. They talk about what happens, but they focus on the victims. And I think that's common sense. And it makes no sense. And I'm not naming the kid here. You can go on the news and see it. His parents were arrested also. First time in history in a school shooting. They've been going on for 20 years. How fucking disgusting is that? Seriously. Pardon my language, but that's as tame as I can keep it right now. First time in history, parents have been arrested. And they should be. They should have been. And then not only once charges were announced, these people were on the run, and the stuff is coming out. I'm not going to mention, like I said, again, their names. They don't deserve to be mentioned, because hopefully they get locked up and forgotten about. But essentially the dad took the kid with him to buy the gun on Black Friday and gave the kid the gun, knowing the kid had some issues and had some stuff going on before. The kid had access to the gun. He's on social media waving it around. Look at this beauty. Look, there's all these different things, dude. It's crazy. I'm not going to get in there and misquote anything that was on there. So, but it's all this information's out there. You can just Google it and look for it. But it's like they got him the gun. They gave it to him. They let him have it. And the morning of, apparently the day before, the guidance counselor found some drawings that were pretty disturbing. One was of a bullet, and it said blood everywhere. Then another one was of a body shot up. And then another one was, there wasn't another drawing. There was a few other things, just basically gory, killing type shit. But he was caught searching for ammo on his phone the day before at school. And that morning, his parents came in, and they were actually called in for a conference. And the school, I don't remember if it was a counselor or whoever, said that they think they need to take him home and get him some kind of counseling within 48 hours. And not only did the parents say no, they said, we're not taking him home because he's going to go home to an empty house, or something to that effect, is what the sheriff had said. That they said. And they sent the fucking kid back to class, and he does the shooting 2 hours later. Why they weren't going through his book bag, either the parents or the school, I don't know. When he was caught making all these fucked up drawings and all this shit, why they didn't go through his stuff, I don't know. Why he wasn't suspended right there, I don't know. And I'm not judging anybody, but there's just a bunch of really crazy shit that could have been done beforehand to prevent this, and it wasn't. And so what if the parents were like, hey, he's going to go home to an empty house. You motherfuckers can't call into work and say, hey, severe personal family issue, I'm not coming back in for the day, right? No, they didn't do that. It's send it back in, and this is where we are now. We're sitting here having to mourn these 4 lives lost, what their parents and other family, extended families going through, their friends that witnessed this shit firsthand, the survivors at the school, those kids and all that. This is unfucking believable. And gun control, people. I love you guys. I'm a gun guy. You know it. I also believe in sensible and responsible gun ownership and everything of that nature. The gun was legally bought. When you have, I can't see, I don't know, you want to blame, like, I want to sit here and call the parents pieces of shit, but you can't do that, because we don't know, as much as we want to assume that we know what was going on or pretend. It's not fair to anyone. So what I will say is, the kid should not have access to a pistol like that just to be able to grab it and go wherever at 15 years old, or from all accounts, it looks like it was clearly, from the optics of it, it was purchased for this kid. It was his gun, you know? And that's unbelievable. But back to the petition, the change.org petition, when I did my research, one of the things I cited that National Institute of Health study was this great thing, and they were talking about copycats, or what they deemed it as general imitation. And essentially, that once the media starts playing the stuff more and glorifies it and covers it over and over and starts going into this stuff, these people out there, they become copycats and they want to go do it. And then the other kids that get the idea, they're all depressed or this and that. They're like, hey, they're going to cover it. They're going to know. At least I'll live in forever. I mean, everyone still knows Columbine. How come I know the two kids' names that did it? Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. I still remember their fucking names. Why? The media pounded it into my head. The Sandy Hook shooter, Adam Lanza. How do I know that? How do I know that kid's name? The media pounded it into our heads. It's unbelievable. We should not know who these fucking people are. I shouldn't know one thing about them besides 36-year-old white male, 30-year-old, you know, the shooting in Orlando. We didn't need to know that it was a Muslim guy and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Just 30-something-year-old male. That's it. Those people don't get any recognition, no notoriety whatsoever. But it's the media, and they're worried about money, and they're worried about ratings and being the first with the story. So that's why we can't appeal to the people in charge of the media, because you're going to get absolutely nowhere. You're going to get fuck all, seriously. So if you look at the petition, I've tagged the president, the House of Representatives, the Senate, Congress, both Michigan Senate and House, and the most powerful figure in media that's not mainstream, the Godfather, Joe Rogan, tagged him as well. Because we got to get some shit done. We have to have them pass it. We need it covered. This is not censorship, right? I'm a firm believer in our Constitution and your rights and freedom of speech and all that shit. But that's not censorship by clearly not saying the guy's name or showing his face. And they always argue. Apparently, there's been some times, because I saw some bunch of shit like the ethics, like journalists, ethics of journalists, and all these different groups from around the world. They all say the same thing. No, it shouldn't be covered, you know. But especially in America, they will do that shit for money and for ratings, and because that's all they're worried about. That they don't give a shit about the victims. They just care about the people and getting the ratings. So if they can pretend, like with this Kyle Rittenhouse thing, that the dude's a white supremacist even though he shot white people, then they'll do it. Or if they can pretend over these certain rallies that these people are anarchists, they're Antifa this or whatever, just to incite the craziness. That's what they do, right? Because they don't give a shit about the people. We know that. So I'll put the link in, but essentially what you can do excuse me. I'll put the link in the comments, but what you can do is go to, it's all lowercase. All right, I'll give it to you right now. ncbi.nlm.nih.gov, G-O-V. Again, N, like Nancy, Carl, Billy, Inez, I love that name, dot national Larry money dot National Institute of Health .gov. All right, and just search mass shootings or general imitation, and it's the top one that pops up. And there's links all around that page that you can go and just go down the rabbit hole of all these studies that have been done. Criminologists, psychiatrists, psychologists, all these people begging behavioral scientists, and a few other fancy names I forgot, that basically study human behavior and all this stuff. And they write these papers begging the media to stop covering the names. Cover the whole story. Do everything. Just don't mention the fucking person or people's names. No pictures, nothing. It's amazing what they said, or what the numbers show, that the reductions of doing it in certain areas where they've been able to actually track it and they have the numbers. So that's what it's about. Like I said, I'll share it on here at change.org. But also, I thought some really, you guys know me, I'm a very spiritual person, and by spiritual I mean spiritual, not religious. I definitely know there's some higher power shit going on out there. What it is, I'm not quite sure, but I'm not one of those who hangs out in the five main food groups, if you know what I'm saying. But I thought some really, really, really crazy, soulful, high energy stuff went down this last week after everything. And one of them was University of Michigan made this really beautiful patch that had a big O on it that stood for Oxford, for the high school. And then it had number 42 on it, I believe, also, because that was the young man, Tate Meyer, played football, loved the Wolverines like most people here do, and had 4 hearts on this patch, and they wore it. And had their game. It was the title game, Big Ten title game against, it was Iowa, I believe, yeah. And wouldn't you know it, they won the game 42-3. Okay, the kid's number. And there was an interview I saw with Harbaugh. They didn't even register with him until the game was over and they're walking off the field, that they actually scored 42 points, and here they are wearing a patch with this young man's number on it of 42. I just thought that was pretty amazing. And then, not even trying to be funny, the Lions also wore an O patch, and the coach, Dan Campbell, and a lot of the guys had on shirts, Oxford shirts. Gosh, I forget who it was. I think it was the running back, was running around the field with a number 42 jersey that said Meyer on the back. That was the kid's last name. And on the very last play of the game, with 4 seconds on the clock, again, couldn't do maybe it was 4.42, who knows, but there was a 4 on there. The Lions scored a touchdown and won the game. Their first game of the season. It's been 364 days since they had won a game. There's that number 4 again. But it's like, it's so crazy sometimes when shit happens and you look at it. And you sometimes wonder if there's higher energy out there sending a message. I don't know. I just can't imagine. This would be a parent's worst nightmare. It just, like, again, I don't know. I didn't know these kids. I don't know their families. I don't know any of these people. But I felt like I had to do something. So, and like I said, my own 13-year-old daughter is now freaked out and scared, doesn't want to go to school. That's something. So again, please, let's get on there. I'll share this on the post here. And all my friends on Facebook, you see the post. I've shared it. Go on, sign it, share it, sign it, share it, write a little something. Of course, my main account on Facebook got a 30-day ban for listening to some Russian death metal, some deathcore. God, dude's name Alex the Terrible. What the hell's her band's name? I don't know. Hold on. It's important. So the band is called Slaughter to Prevail, and the dude's name is Alex the Terrible, the lead singer. And it is the craziest sounding music you've ever heard. You know, that hardcore, the throat growl shit. And I merely said on Facebook, on my friend's post, I liked the post because my son listens to some of this crazy ass music. He actually can play it on his guitar. I put those crazy Russian fucks. That's all I said. 30-day ban for hate speech. 30 days. Right? I thought Facebook hated Russia because they colluded with Trump to steal the presidency. But here they are giving me a 30-day ban for merely calling the band crazy Russian fucks for saying that. Nothing derogatory. If you ever listen to the music, they're fucking crazy Russian fucks. It's great shit, but Jesus. Yeah, that's where we are now. So Eric is all banged up, caught a 30-piece. I mean, that 30-piece from Popeyes, extra biscuits and gravy. Sorry, no gravy, biscuits and honey. And red beans and rice, man. So, you'll find it through Rick Sanchez, baby. Or through Jessica. Yeah, that's about it, man. I've been sick to my stomach all week just thinking about this, and it's taken me this long to be able to talk about it without even actually start getting all choked up and teary-eyed. Like I did in the very beginning when I started reading their names. And by all accounts, these were amazing kids, loved by families and friends, and were great little members of the community already at their young ages, and had big dreams, and, you know, cut short because some young man was hurting so bad. And I just think about that. It's another thing. That's why I can't scream and yell and say all these derogatory things. Because how hurting is this young man, or how broken is his communication channels, whether it's with his family, mom and dad, guidance counselors, whoever, that he's hurting so bad that he can't speak out, you know? I think that was another one of the things I had on this desk. It said, like, the voices in my head, please make them stop. He's writing this shit on his desk. He's basically asking to get caught and asking for help, and no one helped him. And again, I don't know who's to blame with that. I don't know what, you know, whatever, but just think. Back to what I've been saying, right? Since episode 1, you got to teach our kids, folks, please. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice. It's like these kids nowadays are fucking ruthless, man. Like, we were ball busters, but you did it because you liked someone, you had fun. And if you didn't like someone, you didn't bust their balls. It might mess with them a little bit, but, you know, that's it. Now these kids are straight up mean, and say horrible, hateful shit, tell each other to go kill themselves and stuff like that. It's fucking horrendous, man. We got to be better, and it starts at home with the parents. We got to teach the kids to be nicer. You know, these kids go to school, they bully kids, they do whatever. And I'm not even talking about like physically bullying, emotionally bullying, mentally. You know, young girls, parents, if you have young girls, and you have good-looking young daughters, and the boys are all hitting them up and this and that, teach them how to respectfully and nicely let the boys down, right? Don't be breaking these little kids' hearts, especially now, because they fucking kids don't know how to communicate, you know? They think it's the end of the world if they get told no or something happens. They get so embarrassed. You know, just be nice. Be nice. That's all I can say. Protect and love and hug your children. Protect and love and hug your wife. Love your family. Be good in the community. I told you, I've given up on busting balls on Facebook and all that stuff anymore because it just, people can't take it. They don't know which way to take it anymore. At the end of the day, if it makes them feel sad or negative, I'm not down with that because I don't want to feel that sad or negative, you know. Please make it a good day, folks. Make it a good week. Finish out the rest of the year. Sign that petition. Share it with everybody you know. Hit up your local, state, like city council, your state representatives, U.S. representatives. We got to hit everyone at all levels. Please, let's get this shit handled. Protect our children. This is one of the ways we can start. And forget even children. It's people pulling off crazy shit outside of that. You know, no one that doing this horrible shit needs to be given any recognition anymore. Again, go hug your kids, protect them, love them, live each day to the fullest. Be nice. Like New York, be nice. The city's so nice they named it twice. New York, New York. Once again, rest in peace, you beautiful souls. Miss Madison Baldwin, 17 years old. Miss Hannah St. Juliana, 14 years old. Mr. Justin Schillings, 17 years old. And Mr. Tate Meyer, 16 years old. May the powers that be protect you and watch over you and give your parents and families peace and strength in these times of need. I love you all. Good night.